The fact is, I'm always trying to play people better than me for that exact reason. Grammaton Cleric, that's facts. Dude, when I play fighting games, like every time I play fighting games, I feel like when I want to practice with people that are better than me.
Make some noise!
How much of a character's tier placing is based on the player's journey with them rather than their actual tools? That's a very good point that I like. EXO is fine is a very good point to bring up because that's how I feel about it. I feel like we're playing the game and it's all like opinion based, and I feel like a lot of people know that, but I feel like also a lot of people kind of forego that when they continue to have these conversations. Like when they continue to have a conversation about like these tiers and why they consider top tiers or whatever the case may be, it really kind of gets lost in the shuffle a lot of times. And you can even, and this isn't, just specific to one, like you can take that with the same instance with like Japan, right? And Street Fighter. Japan and Street Fighter, and not just, in Japan, but using it as an example. Talked about how Laura in Street Fighter V was not that good of a character. And they had, in Japan is largely considered the best or one of the best Street Fighter territories in the world continuously, consistently, no matter who, is playing, no matter where they're from, no matter how large of a group of players, you always look at, Japan for Street Fighter in some instance, right? And they really didn't see this character as a threat. Fast forward, they run into Idom, and then it's a completely different question. And then you had players like Momochi and, everybody trying this character out because obviously it was a lack of understanding of the character, right? And sometimes it's touched on, right? Sometimes these players do talk about it where they was like, man, Japan doesn't think, G is an issue, or they don't think blah, blah, blah is an issue, and sometimes that exposure to it later on or in a tournament situation where we'd be like, you know what, maybe I need to think about that, right? And but you have seen, one of the things that I have noticed is that you have seen some players, some like really top high profile players discuss and be like, hey, go with your own though, you know what I'm saying? Go with what you know though. And just because, this character is this good, or just because we've been playing it this long for, this week, it's really starting to, some players are really getting it, but some players really just talk it. There's a guy who has less KD but more matches, and then there is the one with high KD and less matches. I mean, in all honesty, it just depends on, like, you want that experience. Like, I'd rather talk to the experienced guy, in all honesty. I would love to talk to the experienced guy. But whom would you prefer what? To talk to, play with, be in a tournament scenario? Like, if I'm like, yo, bro, I'm trying to get to this tournament scenario, probably the guy with, the high KD, right? With less matches played, right? Like if you're instant going off the numbers, that's what you're gonna look at. But in all honesty, you want the experienced guy. That experienced guy will be able to explain it to you better in some instances, as well as I just feel like you get a more of a rounded situation. They know how to deal, you know what I'm saying? Skills or experience? Personally, I want the experience. Just because you have like those skills are all like refined as well, right? Yeah, actually it is both, because sometimes those skills come from like experience and time that you put in, you know what I'm saying? So it could be both. But just in relation to me though, in relation to me, because I guess it really wouldn't matter why you play the game, but for me personally, like, I know that you can only get so far, right? But that won't stop me from playing my best with the amount of time that I have to put in, right? And just making small adjustments to be better in the meantime. You can refine all those things by how much time you put in, but that just all depends if you focus on solely one. Some people can focus on multiple things though, right? There's certain players that can do it all. But personally, like, I spread to all these games, right? And try to like get to a certain level in all of them and not just focus on one. And that's my own cross to bear, Doing is 100% the best teacher, if you ask me. And that's what really like is different for me and is kind of odd for me, is because I like the grind matches. You guys saw when I was playing KOF, like, people think that I've never played KOF before. And I'm like, bro, like, the same shit that I'm doing in like KOF, I've been doing in KOF. It like consciously since like KOF like 11 or something. Whatever the tag team one is when I literally was like, oh, okay. But like, as well as like playing the game, I've been playing KOF since like on some 95 shit because of the homie Greg. But when it comes to like consciously playing and knowing what the fuck was going on, like it was around that KOF 11 era, where I was like, oh, okay. And then I went back and started messing with like 98 a little bit and stuff like that, even though I had been playing all the way up through these years up until a certain point. So getting back to that was not the hard part, because I played a little bit of 14. I just didn't fuck with 14 like that. Like it was not, you know? So it wasn't hard to get back to it, but I'm always going to take that experience over anything, because even with the experience that I know, if I get the opportunity to play somebody like Nerd Josh or a Rip or, you know, a Jimmy J or, you know, a Saint, you know what I'm saying, or a Daigo, you always going to take that, because like, and personally, I think I like playing people that are a higher level than me in any game, because it points out how stark the things are that I don't know, right? Like if I'm like, damn, my offense must be trash because I'm getting smoked right here. And if it's a matchup thing, we can talk about it. But if not, like I would much rather put hands on it than, you know, just be like, hey, this character or this instance is just, you know, beat by this, right? Because you're going to have to go in and learn how to apply it yourself. And that experience is what makes you better in the long run. It might not be like the most instantaneous thing, but some people do have those automatic skill sets. They see it, they understand it, and they can instantly apply it. That could be part of their own little personal skill set, but not for me. The fact is, I'm always trying to play people better than me for that exact reason. Grammaton Cleric, that's facts. Dude, when I play fighting games, like every time I play fighting games, I feel like when I want to practice with people that are better than me. But I also want to play with people that understand that we can talk about it, right? Like, I don't want somebody to be like, all right, man, you get these five games and then we out and we ain't gonna talk about it. Like, I've touched on this before. Y'all know I don't like that shit. That shit's lame to me. Like, the people, if I'm sitting playing rooms and shit like that, it's because I'm, like, legitimately trying to learn. And I still ain't played no goddamn games with Jumanji, bro. I still ain't set up those damn games. I've never even thought of that. Hey, yo, Xavier, I appreciate that, man. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying, man. Hey, I really do like fighting games. People think I'm joking. I'm like, bro, I'm about these fighting games. This is not a game. I mean, it is a game, but I'm about these fighting games. You know what I'm saying?